Welcome, everybody, to the new episode of Map Room Sessions. I'd like to introduce you to TOKI OTO. Well, after a brief hiatus, Map Room Sessions is back and up and running. I'd like to introduce you all to our very special guest today, TOKI OTO. Guys, that was a really great performance. A lot of fun, really energetic, definitely different than the usual things that I'm watching. I'd like to start off a bit with how you guys met, how you started performing together.
I was involved with this improv collective called Eastern Passage, and one of the people involved, Arthur Bull, I think he was he on the subway and he saw you with your didgeridoo? He ran into him at a coffee shop. He had the didgeridoo. He said, "Hey, are you interested in coming in, sitting in with this improv thing?" So Satoshi walks in, and I'm sitting on a cajon, and I have a wave drum, and he's kind of cruising and checking out my gear, and then he had his didgeridoo. We played. It was a very interesting afternoon, and at the end of it, he said, I'm a percussionist too. I have a cajon and I have a wave drum. So I went to his website when I got home, and every piece of gear I owned, he had, except I don't have a didgeridoo. So, we got together, we said, I think we should jam and see what happens.
Well, I'm happy you did jam.
Yeah.
That's great. And where does the name come from?
TOKI OTO is actually Japanese. I made it.
Oh,
Toki means time, Oto means sound, and the didgeridoo is the oldest flute all over the world. And the web drums, which Bob played, is most modern high technology stuff. That different time meet this time and make different sound and make so nice sound.
So interesting.
Toki Oto time sound.
Wow.
That's I made.
Well, there you go. We all learned something new today. Now into the instruments, which I think is so entertaining. The didgeridoo, that first time I've ever seen one in real life, first time I've ever heard one in real life, and everything that you've got. There's so much going on with you. Each of you respectively, how did you start playing your instruments? And like the didgeridoo, how did you even discover that?
I'm drummer and a percussionist, but I want to play outside, on the street, but only rhythm is not fun, so I need a melody. I'm just looking for a long time, and I saw one guy play the didgeridoo, and he told me why don't you play the didgeridoo? And I didn't even know okay, didgeridoo, I don't know how to play, but I said okay, I'm try.
Yeah.
And I practiced myself and starting to play the didgeridoo, and that's
Real one last how obviously it's breathing, I get that, but can you give a brief description of how you play it exactly?
Oh, it's so hard to explain. Actually, you have to blow and breathe at the same time, but it's not exactly breathing. So you have to save air in cheek like this, and push air, and at the same time, that's the technique.
Interesting.
So you have to when you play, you have to do this every time.
So if I go buy one after this, I'm probably not going to pick it up that quickly. A little practice. And then all the different instruments that you play.
Yeah, I'm a drummer around town, and I freelance a lot and stuff like that. And a few years ago, I was looking for something different. And I was in a music store, and they had the new Korg wave drums. So I hate electronic drums. I'm not really into electronic drums. So I tried one, and I couldn't believe how tactile and responsive this drum was, this electronic drum. You tune it and everything else. The sounds were great. So I picked one up, and within 2 weeks, I was absolutely bored with it. And I said, yeah, it's fun, but I need something more sonically out of it. So I started adding guitar effects pedals and a looper, so I can make a pattern, loop it, and play over the top, loop that, and just keep layering. And I've got an analog delay and some other effects, and that totally expanded the palette that I had available when I first picked up the wave drum.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And what else could I do? Well, why don't I add some acoustic instruments to it? So between the two of us with shakers and bells and gongs and the whole bit, two guys can cover a lot of territory.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's one of the things I think that really stood out to me, so many different sounds from just the two of you. So going into your sound and the songs you performed, are these original pieces, traditional? Do you do a lot of improv when you're performing?
It's nothing but improv.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, I should say, though, that, the more we play together, occasionally a rhythm pattern or something will come up that we really like, and we might use it again. But it's only a springboard, a starting point for the improvisation.
Oh, cool.
And, we don't talk about it. We just show up to the gigs and plug in and go.
So every time it's a totally unique experience.
Yeah, and it's, it might sound a little bit slack to do it that way, but it's not really. You're living in the moment, you're playing in the moment, and when the audience is happening and people are responding, it's a great thing. It's like when we play at the Drake and they have a wonderful PA system and you can feel the didgeridoo all around you.
I bet.
It's really nice.
Yeah. So in terms of recording or releasing anything, have you guys put anything onto disc or online possibly?
We finished that first album.
So where can fans find this?
Yeah.
Is it online at your shows?
Soon to be online. Right now, I'm afraid you're going to have to come out to our shows.
Even better, you get to see it in live.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Thank you so much for coming into Map Room Sessions. Thoroughly enjoyed the performance.
Thanks for having me.
Come and check you out at the Drake sometime. All you guys, make sure to tune in, check them out online. We'll put the link on our site, and see you next time.